this movie opens. It's not. This is not a lake called Lake Placid. This is something else. Lake something else.
Oh.
But the movie's called Lake Placid.
Yeah, it is.
And we zoom in on Brendan Gleeson. What's his character's name?
Sheriff Hank something.
Hank. Okay, yes, they say that a lot. Hank. So we're coming in. Hank is on a boat with a beaver guy, a wildlife guy who's going to go
tag some beavers.
Tag some beavers. Okay, and,
Not a euphemism.
And we go into Brendan Gleeson. And like, ooh, love Brendan Gleeson. He's this real local Maine cop. And the first line of the movie, he says, "They actually pay you for this to tag beaver."
That was a good Maine, Scotland mixture,
Irish.
Ireland, whatever.
I was like, oh boy, okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, Flanagan.
Oh, he does not have it. I think after that very first line, it's very convincing. Just generic American
I think
accent.
Your brain kind of just tweaks it enough.
Auto-filled.
Yep.
I just expected, the Banshees of Inisherin.
No. It's not, I mean the opposite. I mean, I think the accent remained bad the entire fucking time, but he's so likable, and you believe his character for every other thing that he's doing on screen, that it's like, okay, no, he just sounds like an American because he's supposed to in your brain.
Okay, maybe.
But I promise, if you pick any random clip of him in this movie and play it, you'd be like, whoa, that's a terrible American accent.
I could believe that.
Yeah.
Well, the beaver guy goes under, and he goes to a beaver lodge. Love beavers. Beavers are great because they build dams, which like affects the infrastructure of the ecosystem of the water. They build little homes for themselves to live in called lodges, and that just sounds nice. A lodge.
Wait, so they're like they're under things, but not underwater.
They build a lodge that has water above it, but inside is hollowed out. And there's part of it is above, but they're very
like
good
frogs.
little beavers. And also, they are
like a busy beaver.
That's right.
And an eager one.
They are monogamous, or at least the
ones
time.
you know.
And they will have kids, and then when the kids get older,
they go to college.
The kids help the parents raise the new kids.
Oh, they must be good parents.
They are good parents. They teach their older kids how to build dams and lodges.
I mean, as long as you've got a lodge, that sounds like living.
You are living good.
What do they do in the winter, those guys? It's got to be cold.
Oh, I don't know.
They're in Maine.
I didn't get that far in Wikipedia.
Hopefully it's a sweat lodge.
Hopefully.
Okay. A little lodge humor.
But this movie isn't about beavers.
Oh.
It's about Brendan's and Bridget's. And,
And Pullman's.
And so Brendan Gleeson's beaver friend gets attacked by a giant croc in the water. We don't see the croc. This is, the Jaws don't show the monster until way late in the movie.
Oh, there's a good reason why they don't show that ugly fucking thing. Yeah, continue.
But he gets bitten in half, and it is very good shot when the guy comes. Brendan Gleeson pulls him out of the water and doesn't realize he's been bitten in half. So just his upper.
But they get the weight right. Like the amount he struggles to pull out that half man,
mm-hmm.
and then he falls back like it were a whole body. It feels very real what just happened there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we go to Bridget Fonda, who's working at the museum. She lives in New York City.
Oh,
and this movie
down.
has thoughts on New York.
Yes, I wrote down a note. This is like prime big city hatred time. Mm-hmm. This is the era of Pace Picante commercials. New York City.
That, and she's doing like this weird trendy thing called yoga.
Oh, gross. Does
breathing.
She have a phone in her satchel?
Yeah.
I'll bet.
I bet she does.
Oh, cancer of the brain she'll get.
She's doing these heavy breathing things because she's stressed. She's a neurotic New Yorker, guys. Let's just be honest. And, it's revealed that she was having sex with her boss, Adam Arkin.
She's having a relationship.
With Adam Arkin. They broke up. And as a result, he wants to send her away to Maine.
Wait, he didn't just break up. He started dating her friend and coworker.
Yeah,
so that's kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal. You're right. Sorry, Kelly.
That's okay.
She gets sent. He sends her to Maine because he hears about this. We found a tooth. They found a tooth on a boat.
Well, they call dentists and they call paleontologists, and then their work is done.
This is weird.
It's very weird.
This this is a weird story hook. So Brett, I don't know what ate this guy, but I found this tooth. Maybe you could figure it out. And they're like, well, maybe this
Who else would you
paleontologist.
send to?
I don't know.
A vet? Someone that works with animals?
If you want to be generous to the movie, it's like, yeah, this is all fitting into none of these people know what they're doing. They called somebody who answered and seemed like they knew what they were doing and was willing to help, so they're accepting the help. We'll send you our paleontologist lady.
They're sending us a lady.
Okay, all right.
To the woods.
So she goes up there, and we meet Bill Pullman, who's the sheriff. I don't
know. Is he wildlife and fisheries, or is he with the cops? Yeah, he's not a cop because the deputy, the lady cop, is with Brennan Gleeson's team. So he must be wildlife and fisheries.
All right.
The Jack character, the Bill Pullman. I don't know. He is a different official who has jurisdiction. So I do think wildlife and fisheries.
And is at this point that she looks at she goes to the hospital and Brendan Gleeson's like, well, we got to go look at the body. And she's like, ew, in the morgue? Gross. But she goes in and okay, yes, this does look like a crocodile bite.
No, the tooth's in the, that's why she had to look at the body, right? The tooth was in there.
Okay.
I think.
And we now learn, well, wait, crocodiles don't come up here. Now, crocodiles in the United States, the only part of the United States they go to is Florida. The only part they're found in. The American crocodile is only found in Florida.
Is that because they miss their gator buddies?
Well, they live close to their gator buddies and intermingle. But
why?
But that's the only part of America that crocodiles live in. And then alligators only live up as far as the Carolinas. They're cold-blooded animals. They need warm temperatures. But
are there a lot of South American alligators?
There are, yes.
Okay.
And I believe the American crocodile does live in South America as well.
He's well-traveled.
I guess.
2 places.
But crocodiles they've been moving. They've been moving, we find out. Weird migration patterns of crocodiles. Okay.
All right.
Oliver Platt shows up.
Okay.
He is a mythology professor and he loves crocodiles.
Eccentric.
He is eccentric.
And hilarious.
What do you think? So you like this guy?
I fucking love him.
Okay.
I even thought, like, if anyone was going to get a date, if I was there, it maybe would be him. I don't know. It just wouldn't be Bill Pullman. It'd either be the sheriff or there's something very endearing about him. At first, you could think he's going to be a sleazy, gross playboy, whatever. But no, he's harmless and he's funny. And
he's fun.
And something else I noticed about the movie after we watched it is there's not one bad guy. There's no one there for nefarious reasons. No one's up to anything. No one wants a sample of the alligator or whatever. There's no. I can't think of another movie where there's not any bad human or human up to something. It's a human you don't like.
There's nobody trying to. We can put this into the military and drop this under Afghanistan.
Right.
But like Jurassic Park doesn't have, like, I guess Wayne Knight you could say is a bad guy, but
yes,
in Jurassic Park, there's no antagonistic human.
Well, because there's all those dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. But
and in Jaws, there's no antagonistic. The mayor is getting in Roy Scheider's way, but
exactly.
Nobody's on the shark side or trying to study the shark for its military applications.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're right there. There's just so. Sometimes when we watch these movies, I struggle to find one person that I root for, and in this movie, I struggle to find someone I don't. And Betty White she nailing that dirty grandma talk.
Yeah, Betty White's in here.
She's great, and
this is a few years before she like really resurged and sort of became like a meme. Right. So it's like, it's trite to say it, but Betty White's great. She's a delight in this movie.
Yes, she is.
And she is doing her foul-mouthed old grandmother shtick, but hey.
The timing, though, great timing. To quote Betty White, if I had a dick, this is where I'd tell you to suck it.
So what's her story? What's Betty White's? The Brendan Gleeson explains nobody lives around this lake except for this old couple, and then also some teens sometimes come in to skinny dip.
To get a noodle.
I think that's a little nod to Steve Miner because this movie, I like to think it takes place in the Friday the 13th universe.
All right.
It has
I see what you're
lake, woods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Placid. Totally. Right? But somehow they've also got the Betty White and her husband before he passed away. They have cows and they have like a whole farm. It doesn't seem very practical, but yeah. She just likes to live alone out there on the water.
But she reveals that she killed her husband.
She first says she killed him because he was in pain, dying of something terminal or whatever. And because she's an old person, they're just like, well, okay, not going to arrest you.
She hit him with a frying pan, I think, she says. Later, we reveal this isn't true. Mm-mm. She's been feeding the crocodile. She thinks the crocodile is her pet.
But she didn't feed him her husband. She did, but the crocodile ate him.
The crocodile took him. He wasn't supposed to.
Because he was supposed to take a horse they were bringing out there. No, 2 horses got loose. I don't know. He thought because they always do bring him food at the shore, oh, the lovely old lady's brought me this food, who is her husband. Mm-hmm. And that's how he died.
But it is funny that, so, you know, we grew up in Louisiana. What do they always tell you about alligators?
Don't feed them.
Don't feed them, yes, because it will stop being afraid of you.
Yeah.
And may one day eat you. And that's literally what happens here. Is she feeds the crocodile must have followed him at home when he was out like deep sea fishing.
Yep.
And that's why it's here and they're feeding it. I love how simple that is.
Yeah.
Of a story. How did this crocodile get here? They fed it.
Well, and that's also kind of perfect because this is they are obviously reclusive people, or they wouldn't have chosen to be the only people who live on this lake. And so they seem like the kind of people who would get attached to a pet. And to think, well, this is its lake, it's our lake. We share this lake with this, to feel protective of the little bit of company that they get.
It is its lake.
It is.
It is, and I don't. Should they kill it? They do kind of get into the
They don't kill it.
They want to keep it alive, yeah.
And they don't kill it.
Yeah.
The end of this movie. They don't kill it.
They don't kill it.
So that's why I asked, is there a Lake Placid too? And does it have to do with this alligator? But I don't know.
Crocodile.
Damn it.
I don't know what the sequels are. I think there are 4 sequels, all of them straight to TV. I haven't seen any of them. I meant to kind of do some research, but I didn't.
It's probably fine. But
I'm sure it's fine, but I'm just curious. Are they the same characters, or is it just there's another lake and another crocodile?
Well, and for them to have left, it's just a nice movie. So they left the crocodile alive probably for that reason, but also it leaves it open-ended. Mm-hmm. Now there could be another adventure. Well,
and because the movie ends with crocodile babies in the lake and Betty White's feeding them.
Oh, that's true. So there's 2 ways that it could have. So it was a lady crocodile then. Oh. They took it.
So what happens next?
Oh, well, and there's another one that jumps out.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Oh, darn it.
What happens next is Oliver Platt throws a party in one of the tents. In our next clip.
Just a quick little pop-up party.
Which I think is my favorite moment of the movie. So, okay, Brendan Gleeson doesn't like Oliver Platt. Like, what? This guy with his
He's a fruitcake.
Humor and his frivolity. Yes. What is he doing? Oliver Platt is winning all of Gleason's deputies over to his side.
You're right.
He pays 2 of the deputies to dig a hole. And Brendan Gleeson's like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "He paid us $500 to dig a hole."
Trying to be brave.
And he's like, "I'm your boss, not him." And they're like, "But he paid us. He gave us a check." And so then Brendan Gleeson goes into the tent where Tom Jones is
not there,
is playing.
But playing.
He's playing. The music is playing in a clip I call "Hey."
You're an official business. This is not a party. Yeah, but now that you're here. Quiet.
Okay, that's the whole thing.
It's just, I just fucking love somebody angrily saying, hey, and everybody else responding, hey!
Well, now I love it too.
And then just a bunch of like, we got to hunt the croc, got to find the croc. Is the croc hunting us? I don't know. We'll try a bunch of things, try lowering a cow. Well, wait, this is such a short and basic movie.
It's very short, yeah.
There's just various sort of cat and mouse things. The crocodile starts stalking them, knocks them off their boat. They narrowly escape.
Wait, but that's not stalking them. They stuck baby noises in the water. Like, I mean, every time the crocodile comes, they've lured it. Like, you know, he makes it very clear that he was seen now. Oliver Platt's character wasn't just roughhousing, causing a ruckus. No, shit. He did it intentional because he's like, no, they are attracted to, you know, a disturbance. So he was trying to lure the alligator to the shore. Although those guys weren't, damn it, those guys weren't done digging the hole. So he could have just killed 2 guys by doing that. Mm-hmm. But he was setting traps the whole time and trying to trap it and lure it. So yeah, no, at no point I didn't find any way that the crocodile ever seemed to be stalking or having any kind of like menacing behavior with them. He only shows up when an entire helicopter lands on the water.
Yeah, I meant stalking. Yeah, they invade its space and then it goes on the offensive against them. They have it coming, I think. Which the more I think about it, they do need to leave this crocodile alone. It naturally got here. It's not like this was not like the movie Alligator from 1980. A giant alligator gets loose in the sewers of Chicago because somebody gets it as a pet as a kid and then flushes it down the toilet, which is based on this New York City urban legend.
Yeah.
But that's not the case here. The crocodile just swam from Australia or whatever.
Right. Well, and the whole thing about this lake is that no one's there. Mm-hmm. And so you just put up a couple of signs, alligator or fucking crocodile, whatever the hell it is. Then there you go. Problem solved.
Yeah. Animals move. That happens.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, the only reason there was even anyone there to die was because he was tagging beavers.
Yeah.
Well, this whole lake is known for being really still and flat. So you go poking around, and then you're going to let the alligator... I guess
that is the conflict.
Crocodile, what's wrong with me?
If we don't do something about this crocodile, we can't do our beaver business anymore.
And...
we got to keep working that beaver. So...
that's hot.
So, Betty White is feeding the crocodile. Shouldn't be doing that. So they use eminent domain to seize one of her cows.
Right. And this was back in a time when you could still put actual animals in danger for a movie. Mm-hmm. So that is a little hard to watch. Poor cow.
Oh, yeah.
Swinging from its big diaper.
Yeah. They built this. This is a set. This is all a set. They built a lake. They put up trees.
No.
Yeah. I mean, we have it playing right now. Like, yeah, they have lots of footage of actual, giant lakes and stuff, but the actors are on a set, an artificial lake that they made for this movie.
Right here, right now.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's always the filming on water is always the worst. You're never supposed to film on water. It's a nightmare.
It does look amazingly lit now that you mention it.
That's why they did it.
And the parts where they're in the forest, like camping, there is something that feels very artificial about that space as well. Now that makes sense. It's just that had to be expensive. It's huge.
This was this movie cost like $40 million, which is that's a lot of money, but it's not a giant.
Spend it on the lake.
Giant budget, not top of the industry blockbusters for the time. But it's just again, fucking, if this were today, it'd all be fucking a green screen.
They'd fuck the shit out of that green screen.
It would look like shit.
That green screen.
It wouldn't feel real at all. No real light hitting real things.
But this is daylight, or are they inside of a...
They're inside. Wait,
holy
actually,
shit.
I don't know that.
It could be like Disney World-ish, where it's just contained.
Yeah.
It's to make sure that there is nothing else in the water to hurt anyone.
Okay, we're now at our favorite... This is another clip I got. This is just us playing clips because this movie's so delightful.
It's so
good. Bridget Fonda, Brendan Gleeson, Bill Pullman are on the boat, and they find a deer carcass.
Moose.
whatever that the crocodile killed, and Brendan Gleeson picks it up to like look at it, and this is what happens. Picking up the elk or the moose, pushes it in the boat.
Hey, you threw it at me.
I just let go of it.
You threw it at me. Did you see that? Oh!
Stop hitting me.
Don't throw heads at me.
Ma'am, it's
Stop
not his
calling me ma'am.
Just Jesus.
Oh God.
So, Sheriff, how many deputies you got?
How many deputies you got?
Because I'm going to need more of them.
I guess, yeah, credit to you that I find Bridget Fonda a girl, because she's you. If you slap somebody and then they say, don't slap me, you'll slap them again. That's your move.
You got to double down. You got to stand your ground.
Yeah.
You got to if you're going to be slappy, you got to be slap happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
Okay.
if you hit me, I'm like, you can't hit me. That's not an okay thing to do to people. We're not, and then you'll just hit me again.
Because people just like familiarity. So as long as you do it a lot, like, oh, wait, I guess you do hit me.
And now it's the only way I can get aroused. Well,
Throw a moose at him.
they lower the cow into the lake, draw out the croc. They successfully capture the croc. No one dies.
With the helicopter?
Yeah, it's
it goes
cool.
through the helicopter. I did want to point out, I guess she maybe Bridget Fonda was just really fun to fling, but there are at least 3 times where she is flung from something. She goes into the air.
She does, yes.
Twice from a boat and one from a truck. Just
Very
woo!
airborne performance.
Yes, aerial. Air.
They successfully capture the crocodile in the helicopter, but then, oh, lo and behold, another crocodile.
Right. A little 10-footer.
Yeah, this is the baby. And they kill the baby, right?
Or is it the husband? Because
No, it's
there
a
are
baby.
babies.
This is the movie ends pretty shortly after this, and this is why I like Mandela affected like another act to this movie, because this does feel like kind of too small to be the big set piece of your action movie.
Again, that's why I think it wasn't even about the crocodile. It was about these actors, man.
No, I know, but
Oh.
if you're making a big studio movie, you're like, really, that's the climax. They capture the croc and that's it. I thought I was conflating it. I don't know what I was conflating it with, but I know there has to be the trope of we thought we captured the monster, but we only captured the monster's baby.
That does sound really familiar, actually.
Jaws 3, it happens in. What? There's got to be something. I know there's a major one. Other
If you're
one I'm
listening
forgetting.
to this, write in
Hashtag big monster baby.
adult
But
adult
because they're-
son's monster baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was where this was going is, oh shit, we only captured the baby, but then the baby pops up and they get the baby too. And then,
That one gets blown up.
yeah, all is well. Bridget Fonda and Bill Pullman decide they want to, we're attractive people. Let's go get a drink because this is an exciting couple of days. We'll
Right.
remember it forever. Maybe not the most defining incident of our lives. Then they kind of start bickering and Bill Pullman says, I miss that damn crocodile. It's nice.
It is not. Yeah, it's perfectly realistic. They're not promising us like happily ever after. It's like those 2 contending adults want to see each other naked.
Another thing that would never happen in a movie today. Yeah.
Just
Even
casual ending.
Well, I mean, like any kind of sexual chemistry or it's funny that we've swung so much. Okay, wait. Tangent here.
Give it.
For so long in movies, you're like, Jesus, the male main character and the female main character have to be romantically interested in each other at the end of the movie. And it did get tired, and it was refreshing when they just respected each other as professionals or like had a
Right.
platonic friendship. But we are now so deprived of like romance and sex in movies, at least in like mainstream American movies. No one is allowed to be attracted to each other or do anything with each other that like, yeah, please bring back the gratuitous male and female main characters deciding to end up together romantically. Compare this to Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt in Jurassic World, where, they give
So
each other
little
a chaste
fucking.
little peck. And then the next time we see them, they live on a compound together, like, shooting the ATF and stuff.
Right.
They're married and they homeschool their little clone girl.
Right.
Yeah, We should just bring back casual romance and sex in movies. That's what I'm saying. Do you agree?
Agreed.
I don't think you know what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
of course I do. Well, and she was in a movie called Singles and Single White Female. Isn't that interesting?
I guess.
And she's just living that single life. So I'm saying, living single.
Is Singles one of your movies?
It's definitely one that I saw several times, but it wasn't. No,
I've never seen it.
I can't remember.
I don't like Cameron Crowe movies. And but I remember Chuck Klosterman was obsessed with this movie, so I've always kind of been curious.
Yeah. It's like he has a whole part of a book on it.
But it's also
Or an essay.
fucking Gen X people obsessed with that.
It's
Like,
super Gen X. It's extreme.
yeah.
It's like, don't sell out.
So Singles episode next Friday.
Okay, great.
The final shot of the movie, which I definitely remembered more than anything else, was the giant crocodile on the back of a 18-wheeler.
Oh, I thought you were going to say all the tiny, tiny crocodiles coming to chew mommy's feet or nibble mommy's toes. Ugh. Betty White feeding her toes to the fucking
And that's the end of this movie, 82 minutes. I think it literally just go to 90 minutes, have, elevate.
You're out of your
the set
mind.
piece at the end does feel like this is the pre-big actions. This is the thing that sets up the major
I don't
action.
like the formulaic feeling of it all. Like, I like that it subverts your expectations, but just ending, like, that's enough.
Okay. But I just disagree
The
because
giant crocodile got stuck in the whole helicopter.
we haven't talked about this, but the creature effects are by Stan Winston, the guy who did Jurassic Park, the best of all time at what he did. And for the most part, these are great looking practical effects.
Yeah.
They do some CGI bullshit.
What parts?
Just whenever the croc like spins around on land and stuff, when it chases people on land, you can tell.
Okay.
But Jurassic Park did that too. If you watch Jurassic Park now, the puppets look as good as ever, but especially if you like watch it on 4K, you're like, oh, now it's switching to CG, and it does kind of look like I'm playing a computer game.
Right.
But I mean, they're so great, so charming. This crocodile looks amazing. And the gore is great.
Good gore.
This is like, in some respects, kind of slashery, like a slasher movie. And
there's intestines.
Steve Miner knows what he's doing there. So that's why I say I just want like one more beat. Bring this up to 90 minutes, put
Rip
a little more
Betty
violence.
White's foot off.
Wouldn't that be good? That'd be fun.
As long as she was still real cranky and saucy after, like still spunky, still herself.
It's surprising that it is. I was certain Brendan Gleeson was going to die.
Oh no, I don't remember.
Because
I don't remember any sad
despite
parts.
his being basically the main character of the movie, or maybe the guy with the most screen time, on the poster, his name isn't on the poster. It's Bill Pullman, Bridget Fonda, Oliver Platt, Lake Placid.
Ooh.
Then when you watch the actual movie, Bill Pullman, Bridget Fonda, Oliver Platt, Brendan Gleeson, Lake Placid. Okay. So they did the thing where they have 4 people before the title, but on the poster they only put 3 people over the title.
I think that's a graphic design issue.
That's weird.
Okay.
And then also, why would he be 4th? Because this isn't alphabetical. I don't know. So I was like, okay, so he must die halfway through because he's been in almost every scene so far.
He would have been the 4th most notable actor at that time, though, too.
Probably.
Yeah. All of those actors had been working on recent things for years at this, and I don't remember him. I don't remember a lot of things that he was in at all. So there you go. And my memory,
your memory is impeccable.
Fantastic.
Yes, especially for actors and people. Do you think that Bill Pullman is like in this movie is like sort of a meta commentary on just like dumb leading men? Like,
I mean, they do give him the least to do. Well, if a lot of it was improv, then that makes sense. He just didn't have a lot to add. He's just kind of like, I'm who you're gonna fuck at the end.
I don't know how much of it improv in like just in your little bickerings you can kind of go with it.
Yeah, but even there he had the least to add. He's got a good straight man face. What do you call it? I'm so sick of not knowing how to say things. But he's not a comedian.
Yeah.
And the other 3 are. I think they're all funny.
He's funny. I mean, he's
fine. He keeps up. But he's not leading man material in this.
Lakes are we can get out of here soon, but I just wanted to talk about this final thing.
Okay.
Tell me if you agree with this? Lakes are
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're
creepy.
cold. Creepy.
Why?
Because it's contained. Don't you think that's why? There's whatever flows into it doesn't necessarily come out of it.
Yeah, I think it's this all the water. It's just staying
It's
here.
just staying there.
Why is it staying? Well, that's weird.
Well, and whatever lives in there is very territorial of it because it's like an island or like a one-way or a dead-end street. You only go there if you live there. So they're not used to other things coming in. They're going to be more territorial things because there's not rushing water. There's lots of little compartments and places to build a home out of whatever for like snakes and fucking beavers or whoever. So there's just so much more like tenants. There's too many occupants. Nope, occupants.
Do you find? Tell me if you find this creepy. The bottom of a lake.
Ugh,
Touch it with your
Oh,
foot.
it's so mushy.
Yeah.
It's so slimy.
Gross.
It's the worst. Yeah. Even the ones that have sand like leading into them, because at Conroe, Texas, where we go camping every now and then, there you walk in on like that mushy, weird mud sand. You know,
Yeah, it's gross. It's fucking disgusting.
But the further you get out, the more untouchable it is. And because of scary movies, because they need so much depth to be able to get that underneath shot for like Jaws and for this movie and any movie with a fucking swimming pool, but it just seems so deep. If I don't know where the bottom is, that freaks me the fuck out.
But
and it gets colder the further down you go, where that's not true of the ocean. I mean, you're never out far enough to feel that. The water's always moving on a beach, but in a lake, if you let yourself kind of like fall, it gets colder and colder.
But like Lake Pontchartrain, which is the big giant lake near where we live,
brag,
is not deep. It's only 6 feet at its
What?
deepest. Yes.
What?
And I find that really creepy
It's
too.
huge.
I
That's
know.
fucking weird.
Yeah, it is
It's a
very
big
shallow.
puddle.
It is very shallow.
Oh, that is because if you went off the side of the bridge and put your car in there, you'd crash on
Into
the
the bottom.
land.
Yeah.
It's fucking rude.
It might be probably deeper than 6 feet at points, but it is a shallow lake.
crazy.
The furthest out I've ever been in it, you could still walk.
Okay.
And I've gone far. I
Tell
tried
me
to
how far, Matt.
Ooh, pretty far. Do you know where the shack is?
No.
you wouldn't. But me and my brother tried to go out there. Got too tired.
Okay.
And I'm creeped out just remembering that. Ew.
Slimy. Lakes are gross.
So final thoughts.
Lakes are gross.
Lakes are gross. Betty White's good. Bill Pullman's good. Bridget Fonda, Oliver Platt, Brendan Gleeson good. Steve Miner good. David E. Kelly, not so great at writing this script, but Stan Winston good. Practical effects and sex. Bring it back in movies.
Bring it back. Effects and sex. I've been saying it.
This is a call.
You've been
Hollywood, you listening?
put on notice. I'll stop attending your movies. Personally. Count my ticket out, as they say.